look at what time it is, boys and girls. It's Fleetyards time again. Fleetyards Mission Briefing time.
Yes.
Your weekly show where we talk to you about all the ships from the sci-fi universe, whether it be Star Wars, not Star Trek. We specialize in that, Trekyards. But Star Wars, Stargate, the list goes on and on. Aliens, I don't know. There's so many. Anyway, I don't know what we're doing today. As usual, Commander always picks those out. But anyways, I'm Captain Foley.
I'm Carl Coggins. Hi, guys.
And this is the show where we bring you great 3D renders of these great ships, all done by Samuel. He does some fantastic work. Lights these things, makes them look beautiful, gives us some great scenes.
1080p, full high def, guys, so all the details are there. And we'll tell you if they're the real 3D model or the real model from the game, say, when we get there, just so you guys know.
So we look at the ship, we kind of talk about it, discuss it based on our knowledge of sci-fi, which some of us might not have the best knowledge of all the sci-fi franchises out there. But I'm the Star Trek guy compared to Star Trek stuff. And I always come into this show blind. I never know what's going to be the ship for today. So, Commander, what are we looking at?
Well, this is a fun one. And I love, it's another video game one. I love the video game series Halo. Have you either played or heard of Halo?
I've played Halo a little bit.
Okay, cool. Well, this is and gone to the first picture, the UNSC Pillar of Autumn, the very first thing you see in the very first Halo game, the ship that is your home. Master Chief wakes up on, leaves Reach, gets attacked, does all the Halo things, and then blows up at the end. Spoilers. This is the Halcyon class light cruiser, the Pillar of Autumn. Yeah.
That's what I had to say.
So, Stuart, first thoughts.
Is this the back of the ship?
This is the front of the ship.
This is ugly. I absolutely hate this design. There's nothing I like about it. It looks like a cargo container. I'm sorry. It's first thought.
Ouch. I quite like this design. But I have a sweet spot for the ships that you are like on and part of your home, as it were. This is an interesting one because it's a very... There's a few different sorts of sci-fi ships I find in the big multiverse. There's the very alien, organic, weird. There's a very specific to the design of the race. So like you got the pointy ships of the Star Destroyers, or you've got the two nacelles and saucer stylized ones. Or all the time you have the very thin battleshipy ones like the Roger Young, like the USS the Sulaco from Aliens, and like this, that sort of long straight battleship design. So this falls under that category, but in a very sort of bulky way. And remember, this is a video game, and I believe this is actually might be from one of the game engines. I'm not sure, I can't remember, or just a fan one. So take that with a grain of salt. But it's meant to be this big, bulking, very, very armoured. I mean, I don't believe they actually have shields in that world. It's all armour. It's all getting hit, punishment, nukes and things. Yeah, it's got 2 meters of titanium armor plating. It's a big thing. So you don't like it then? That's a shame.
No, I don't. But that armor plating thing and no shielding would explain the whole lack of windows. I mean, there's a few in the front there, but the main bulk is basically just armor.
I had noticed that. That's interesting. Now, what do you think of the scale of the ship? What does it speak to you in terms of scale? And again, you can compare it to Star Trek ships as you will. What's your first impression for that?
I have no idea. It could be anything. There's nothing to show me size really except for windows, and I don't know. Size of a Constitution class Enterprise, maybe lengthwise.
Well, we'll see. Let's go on to the next picture though. That's the aft section. Very, very big engines, very functional, very fast. Actually, surprisingly maneuverable. We see a shot of it leaving Reach. It's actually quite good, although in the first game it's not. But that's because it's 1990s, whatever. But yes.
So does this have an FTL drive, I would assume?
Yes, I believe it's slip space. I think that's the version here. So it's slip space, and it's a Shou Fukuoka trans-light engine. Shou Fukuoka.
Fukuoka?
And it's powered by a fusion drive, 1 prime fusion reactor, 2 secondary fusion reactors. It's a very hulking big ship. And it's armed with, are you ready? 1 Mark II light coil -56A2D4/MAC, MAC, 1 Shiva class nuclear missiles, three Havoc class tactical nuclear weapons, 300 M85 or 58 Archer missile pods, and 40 50mm point defense guns. And its primary weapon is that Mac gun, which is a super. It's like a very small shell, but it's super accelerated, I believe, to speed of light. So it's a very, very hard hitting shell. It just rips through enemies, and in some of the novels when that was developed, the enemy ships would come in and just destroy an entire ship with one barrage. And they've got bigger guns around Earth that just rip through ships. It's a very, very strong vehicle with a lot of. I mean, the amount of nuclear things. It's pretty powerful. Pretty powerful ship. I mean, it gets blown up by a fleet of Covenant at the start of the first game, but I mean that's, or at least damaged. But that's because a fleet can take out almost anyone. Any thoughts on this view?
BAE, man. BAE. Big ass engines. BFG, B. Yeah.
Yes. Well, go to the next picture. Sorry. You can jump in. Sorry.
So, are the big ones the slipstream drive things?
No, I assume it's all around. I think the main two are the big few, because there's a big hulking ship. They had to push the ship, and then the smaller blue ones are to create that slip.
Okay.
Fukiawa slip drive thing.
Nice. Okay. Cool.
Yes, and it creates a sort of a big 2D sort of vortex, and it goes through, and then it. But if you go to the next picture, though, another after shot, you can start to see some lower detailing. I think that's where some of the guns are. Just little bits that come off the hull. Is it? I mean, I kind of like it's like these different plates that get bigger and bigger, functionally speaking, as I guess the reason for each of these different parts change. Because the vibe I get from the ship is that Earth has gone out into the universe, and we're trying to in the Halo universe, we are sort of alone for most of our history, where we are looking to spread to different colonies. We get this faster than light capability, and then suddenly we meet the Covenant, and they don't like us. They want to kill us all, and so we start having to improve our military technology to not just fight the basic settlers that are now rebelling, the rebels, but now this alien race, which is an amalgam of multiple races, stronger tech, faster speed. I mean, it's huge. That's why they developed the Spartan program, which is the ground assault people. Because obviously, if you can send Spartan, which is the Master Chief, into an enemy ship, he can basically destroy the entire ship and escape, very quickly. So that's the sort of the way they do it. But these ships, I get the sense from this is that it's this arms race, trying to make these ships that can count and to make it stronger, and maybe just to get that pure bulk into orbit, you need these massive engines. And it shows advancement, but at the same time, a rawness. Like, you need this thrust. It's not like Star Trek. It's not this bubble. It's pure thrust to get it to move. And then obviously the FTL engines can be slightly smaller, but that's my interpretation. But it's worth saying this ship is very far in the future. It's from 2509. So, Earth future.
I don't buy it. We would be more advanced than this. This is like our first foray into space, in my opinion. It's like 100 years from now kind of ship. Yeah, not a fan. I gotta say. I gotta ask too. They said there was 40 point defense guns. Where are they? I don't see anything.
We'll talk about scale in a minute, but you probably wouldn't be able to see them.
Oh, it's that big, huh? Then those must be huge bay windows. Next picture.
This is where we start to see the details, though. The front is where all the work is at. I mean, I don't know what really any of this is, honestly. It's just kind of functional areas. I'm assuming a lot of these pod bays are where the missiles come out. Different styles of missiles. I mean, that would make sense. I think the lower two weapons, the sort of slits, which we'll look in a minute. I think those are the Mac cannons, and then you've got the missile launchers either side to the forward facing, and then it's just, I guess, greeblies to fill in the gaps. But I mean, yeah.
Just nothing to speak of scale. I just don't like it. It's just so.
Well, it's funny you mentioned scale. Let's go to the next picture. So this picture has the bridge in it.
Okay. 2 chairs, huh?
Well, if we cut to the next picture, that's the bridge.
Oh, God. 2 chairs.
Well,
That's the bridge of this huge ship. It's 2 chairs.
No,
and a ladder.
no, that's the helm and navigation. That's just the front little pod with basically the window, and that lower bit there's a little ladder underneath. There's another view window that's also fully windowized. Behind
this is in the JJ verse. Then it's got windows and stuff.
Well, it's the human verse. But no, this is very much a big sort of battleship style thing. In the back there, just behind that, there's a big master display system, and then either side, if you look at the right hand side, there's a window that pushes forward. There's 2 sides of massive sets of people, like 8 people along or 4 people along with consoles, and then in the middle there are also more consoles which lead to doors out. So there's a good like 15 people on operation, and the captain is in the middle looking out these windows with the 2 people at the front. You've got dedicated weapons, so it's actually quite a large zone, relatively speaking. But I've always loved, when you start the game and you get to this area and you see out and you see this massive halo and you can walk down to a little observation bit just for the sake of it, just see it. I kind of like that. It's a strange little detail, it's a strange arrangement for a bridge.
Well, you've walked around the ship. I haven't, so
yes,
you appreciate it a lot more than it. Looks like 2 chairs, and that's the whole bridge. It's like, what? All right, so I just went and took a look at some of the pictures from the inside of the bridge, and yes, I see what you're saying. There is a lot of room, and that actually works for me with this shape. So I think that's pretty cool, actually. But yeah, at first glance, it's like, what is going on here?
Yeah, obviously this is a context thing. I'm sure our audience is also thinking, if you haven't played the game, it's like, oh, that's the 2 people. So it's kind of difficult to represent, especially with a low-res game model.
Yeah.
But if you go back to the previous picture, now you know that's where the bridge is, and then you now see it stick out. Like, I like how it's such a small, insignificant part of the hull. It's just this little bridge, but then you go into it, it's like, oh, this big space. Let's go to the picture after that, though, which has the biggest guns.
Oh, wow.
And these, I think, do look kind of meaty. I think this is a cool configuration. I'm not sure what all the pieces are. I'm assuming the 2 rocket. No, but maybe the 2 glowing bits of the mass guns, and the other 2 just things that maybe do you think it locks together to hide it, or I don't know.
I don't know. I was wondering that myself. I wonder if they slide up and protect them somehow, but don't know if that works for me. I don't know.
It's a cool detail, though.
Yeah, it is very much.
But let's answer your question of scale, Stuart.
Okay. So next picture is scale chart. And I was wrong about the Connie.
Little bit.
This thing's bigger than anything in Star Trek.
This thing is huge.
Except for the JJ prize. It's this,
Well, the JJ prize is the
size.
size of the E, just a bit bigger. So I mean, it's still bigger than that.
Yeah, I guess. Okay. So what is the crew complement on this thing? Do we know? That's a lot of troops.
Yes, that's a hell of a question. I'm guessing a lot. Well, according to this, it's meant to be 1.171 kilometers long, 352 meters width, and 441 height. I don't know if it says crew. Oh, yeah, no, 300 to 400 naval personnel, 920 plus Marines with some ODSTs, and an AI as well. So, well over 1,000. But I think it's variable because obviously you need to have a lot of space for the missiles, the bullets, the vehicles, because all those troops are meant to land with a pod and then with drop ships. I mean, there's a lot of internal hangar space as well.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, this thing is cool.
It's certainly not elegant, is it? I mean, it's very rough shaped. It's very would you say realistic in the sense that it is if it was smaller, it'd be quite an easy thing to build, easy shapes, easy welding, not compared to any of the smoothness or gracefulness of any of the Star Trek shapes. I mean, this is far and away technological differences. I mean, this is not the same sort of thing.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah, I see it being realistic. Like you said, maybe smaller. Yeah, I guess it makes more sense to me now being this size. But really, at first picture, I had no sense of scale at all. I just felt totally lost. So
it's kind of fun though. Like, if you actually look at the scaling, it's like the command center, like the front bit with all the guns, is the Connie, and then in the middle you've got a Sovereign, and then right at the end you've got the engines the size of the D-Saucer. So it's kind of all these sizes put together, even. It's certainly I can imagine, if you did a full episode on the ship, seeing animations with it against the Trek ships. I mean, this would be a mammoth, of a ship. You can imagine the Dominion War, all these little reliants, and there's this. Oh, that's a big ship, you know. Totally wouldn't dwarf one of the Dominion ships, but it's certainly a beefy ship.
It's interesting. I wonder if the phasers could cut through that hull armor. Probably not.
That's the thing, though. I mean, you would. What are they rated to go against? You know, armor is something that can be burned away, but we never really. I mean, Star Trek is a weird thing where, or any sci-fi, if you actually damage a model, like the ship, the 3D model needs to have burn marks and then damage. So most of the time you see hits, they don't actually do anything to the model because they can't afford to change it. You know, you're lucky when they do change it. So I don't know. But I think Quantum will certainly be very effective. But I know those mass cannons, you know, Mac guns, they would be able to. They would rip through shields, I guarantee. Maybe not like the best of the best shields, but certainly lower grade stuff. Been an interesting battle, I think.
Wow, I just can't get over the size of this thing. That's cool.
It is a behemoth. It really is, and that was kind of the vibe you got. And so you can imagine you're walking around the corridors and then seeing it in battles, and you get to see it later on as well. I mean, if this is I believe one of the bigger ships. There's another ship which is more of a frigate, which is a much smaller, like the small size of the colony. There's another ship which is even bigger, I believe, called the Spirit of Fire, and that's. I mean, they go for big scale because the Covenant ships are even bigger. I mean, this is small compared to Covenant ships. It's kind of the scaling is very like. I think it's to make you, the character, feel small. You know, you're in a single dropship and you're flying in these scenes with these behemoths. You are just this one entity against the universe, and you know you should be able to lose. But the fact is, you're the hero and you're the superhuman.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
Interesting. Cool.
Let's go to
I
the
need to
first
go play with
page.
some Halo, I guess.
You should. It's a fun game, especially with.
I've only played some ground assault missions when my kid was playing it, and he's like, "Here, try this."
Oh, that you mean this the mobile games then?
No. Like the first-person shooters.
Oh, okay, cool. But let's go back to the first picture, which you can see all the detailing. You know, it's a weird one, but it's very sort of. They obviously had a shape in mind. They just put detail on. You know, where the missile's going to come from. Whereas, you know, I don't know what those big dome or half dome things are. Maybe they're the sensors. Maybe they're the slip forward. I don't know. The Halo universe has been explored a reasonable amount thanks to the games and the video, the books and things. But this is one of those interesting. It's that very first thing from the 90s that they put out. And so it's kind of a product of its time / very low res game engine. But again, has a soft spot in my heart, and I don't know. Have I won you over to it a bit more, Stuart?
No. I still think it's ugly. I absolutely hate it. I mean, but anyway, that's my opinion. As wrong as it is. It is a very neat ship that it's so big, and, you know, it's got the armor, no shields, you know, and to see the bridge, the way it is laid out, is very kind of neat. But overall, I think it's just...
On that note, guys...
Alright guys, if you want to see full episodes on ships like this and many more, please head on over to our Patreon. Once we hit our $1,000 goal, we'll be able to start making more episodes, Fleetyards episodes that are full episodes. All the specs, stats, figures, everything you want to know about these ships in full detail. With fantastic animations done by Samuel, with other ships in other sci-fi franchises probably to show scale and things. I don't know. We do a lot of cool stuff over here.
We try to.
And if you get a chance, head on over and check out Trekyards.com as well. But anyway, until next time, and another sci-fi ship, I'm Captain Foley.
I'm Connor Cockins.
Bye, everybody.